Well, howdy folks, welcome back to Did You Pack Snacks. I'm so glad you're here. Aren't you glad?
I'm so glad.
The fact that you clicked on this episode and you're listening, thank you. Wherever you are, whether you're in the car, the grocery store, or where could they be?
Avoiding bedtime. I gotta do laundry, but then you're actually listening to the podcast and your partner has to put the kids to bed.
Wow. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Colin.
And I'm Meg.
And this is Did You Pack Snacks, a family travel podcast where we chat all things high, all things low, and all the long miles in between. And speaking of long miles, today we're going to list out some of the things that we cannot travel without.
If we forget it, it's a bad day, it's a bad trip, might as well go home.
And the miles just keep getting longer.
They're miserable.
They're very miserable.
We need these things.
And they're not like hard to attain things. They're very simple things that I would say, you know what, we've done our 10,000 hours. We've been to 30 countries with kids. We've flown, one time we traveled a whole year for 344 days. We did 15 countries, a million flights. And I don't know, I hesitate to say that we are full-time traveler experts, but we've done our time.
Our suggestions hold a little weight, though I will say that everyone has preferences. So what we may prioritize, you only get one carry-on.
Right.
So you gotta prioritize some things. So these are mere suggestions, but things that we cannot travel without, and we'll get to those in just a minute. For now, man, did we have a busy weekend?
Golly. Yeah, your parents came into town. We went to the mountains on a grown-up retreat. We went to Lake Junaluska. But let's talk about your parents because they did the ultimate grandparent move, which is a day in the city that included what?
The girls woke up, they went to the park, then they went to the mall and they got to go to Build-A-Bear and pick out whatever animal that they wanted. And they've seen Build-A-Bear before. I've let them walk through Build-A-Bear before. We've never done it.
The last time we went on a pretend Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, what would you get?
If this was stuffed, what would you do?
But yeah, my dad sent me a picture and they had these cute backpacks with their new Build-A-Bear animals all decked out in cute little clothes. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And then he took them to Chuck E. Cheese, which surprised all of you that were born in the late 80s and
they
then
still
the 90s.
Exist.
They still exist. Apparently during COVID, they all kind of shut down. My dad said that they took the animatronics part away, which I'm like, oh, that's kind of a bummer.
Because I was like, when he said that, I imagined that scene from a Goofy movie at the Possum Palace, whatever. And
it used to feel like that.
That to me is Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, it used to feel like that. But he told the girls that was my favorite restaurant growing up, which he's not wrong. We used to beg our parents to go there. I was one of 4.
Hit the jingle, Megan.
I'm not going to sing the jingle.
You know it, though.
I don't really know the first
part.
Do
it for the people.
I just know the ending was where a kid can be a kid. And we used to apparently my dad said I used to shove my brother into the master bedroom, be like, sing the song. And then be like, well, that sounds like a good idea, Dad. What he wants, I want too. Anyway, I think it was really sweet that he took them to one of my favorite childhood places. Then when we got back from our retreat, we did a little fall festival, fall farm fun. What would you call it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Denver Downs.
Oh, gosh.
It's kind of
every town has them.
You pay an admission. You get to ride on a tractor. There were pigs racing. Maybe every town doesn't have this.
I don't know. I feel like every town has a mom and pop version of this.
Yeah, well, it was just a lot of fall fun on a farm and kind of ended out our very full weekend and time with my family, but it was good.
How's your fall doing? If you're not okay, let us know.
Let us know. Fall is a busy time of year.
I feel like that's what everyone is saying. And yesterday there was a trick-or-treat downtown in our city and all our friends went. And one of our friends, Zach, texted hey man, how are you? Why weren't you there? And I was like, I just needed to stay home.
Yeah.
I just wanted to lay low.
I just wanted to not do something for one day.
It's October. And you know what? After tonight, October will be over.
October will be over and we're into another busy month.
I'm sad, but it's almost like you cross a finish line. It's a marathon. But we did it.
October feels like a marathon. I think it's because there's just such good weather that people get excited. There are a lot of seasonal things to do and accomplish in this time period.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know, it seems to be the time where you go on retreats and plan bonfires and Halloween. And then now we're just going into a holiday blur.
Yeah.
For the next 2 months.
Which I think you are planning to set up the Christmas tree this weekend.
Well, yeah, because, okay, if you don't know already, the last time we traveled was August, September, and we were in the Faroe Islands and Iceland. We've been home for a few weeks, which has been great. Busy, like we were saying, but great. And then we're heading out next week to go to Asia for like a month. We'll be back a long time from now.
Right.
And so that I just have this to-do list because when we get home, it's going to be December and I love Christmas. I don't want to waste time getting in the Christmas spirit. I want to show up, flip a switch, and my house is Christmas-ified, Christmas-y.
Yeah.
And also, Charlotte turns 7.
I think so.
2 days after we get home.
Right.
So last night, I'm like buying her birthday gifts on Amazon because I have to wrap those before I leave. Wow. There are a lot of things to think about as a mom.
Our lists are very different.
Yeah. What are you thinking about before you fall asleep?
I'm thinking about when we go there, like what airport lounges we have access to. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about what are the excursions we're doing in Indonesia. I'm very present, Megan. Someone is planning the trip.
Well, this is the thing, though. Just to like toot our own horn, I think that we balance each other because I'm focusing on all the things we need to go. Like I bought one of our daughters needed a new swimsuit. We need to get them new sandals. I'm thinking about that, and then I'm thinking about what happens when we get home. Yeah. And you're kind of carrying the weight of what happens while we're there. So honestly,
it's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
We both feel alone at times.
Are you getting new goggles for the trip?
No.
No.
For myself?
Yeah.
I don't plan to snorkel.
Goggle it up?
I don't plan to snorkel.
Okay.
I'm bringing my Kindle.
Okay, that's very different from goggles.
I know. I'll be on the shore taking pictures of you, waving, sitting in the sun.
Yeah, we got lots to do in Asia, and I'm really excited. But we jumped the gun a little bit because that's all happening in November. Mm-hmm. There's one more thing happening before the month changes to November, which is it's still my birthday month.
That's true.
And so because it's still my birthday month today, I am requesting my birthday present yet again. Our stats show that 76% of you listen on Apple Podcasts. So what better way to say thank you for a great birthday month than to go on Apple and write us a kind review and give us a 5-star rating. This will help all the moms and dads unite. And just for fun of it, I just want to read a recent review we got by M. O'Neill 2020. I know what Emily, or I'm guessing her name's Emily, I know what she got into in 2020.
What?
She got into podcasts.
There you go.
And so, and now she's listening to this one. So thank you. Her title says, love this podcast. Colin and Meg are such fun people to listen to, and they have great travel tips and suggestions. I love listening because I feel like I'm chatting with a friend, and it's an enjoyable way to pass the time in the car. Keep it up. Love this podcast. Thank you so much. Whether your name is Emily or not, we're just going to say you are Emily. And Emily, we love you. And thank you for being here. All right, now on to some travel news. Megan, what you got?
I've got some exciting information about the new airport opening in Tulum, Mexico. It's opening at the end of this year. And what's really exciting about it is currently you have to fly into Cancun and then figure out travel in order to get to the beach area, the Tulum area.
Which is like a 2-hour drive.
You don't anticipate that it's going to take you some time.
And because there's so many resorts in and out of Cancun, like when you get there, it is just a madhouse.
It's pretty crazy. So this will eliminate it and allow you to just travel directly to your final destination. Delta announced that they're flying from Atlanta direct to Tulum.
So we're going.
And then Spirit announced that they're flying direct from Fort Lauderdale and Orlando airports direct to Tulum.
Okay, I don't know about that because I'm not sure how I feel about Spirit Airlines, Megan.
Okay, well, you can have your opinions, but I think the prices are going to be pretty reasonable. They said to estimate about $150 one way, and all of these flights start in March, just in time for the warm weather.
Do you know that if that 150 includes your seat or bags?
It probably doesn't.
Yeah.
That's why you don't like Spirit.
No, and it probably doesn't include AC either.
Colin.
Yeah, and maybe you gotta pay.
Wait, I said your name weird. Colin.
It probably doesn't include AC either, and it probably doesn't, like, you probably have to pay to use the bathroom.
Okay, so we know Colin's feelings about Spirit Airlines. The good news is Delta is also flying to Tulum out of Atlanta. You should check it out and tell the people what the name of this new airport is.
Yeah, of course. It's Felipe Carrillo Puerto Airport, TQO.
TQO for
and
short.
It's 2 hours south. And you know what? Tulum's been one of those destinations that, like, has been growing so fast. We spent about a month there. We lived outside of Tulum in a little town called Akumal, which is, I think it's called, like, the Bay of Turtles or something to do with turtles, because there are a lot of turtles right off the shore. And we got to do that, which was really cool. But yeah, Tulum is just 2 hours south. And when we were there, they were still building like crazy. There's a old town and a new town, and the beach road where all the resorts are it's just getting too crowded. So I am curious with this new airport how it's gonna work out. I hope that it gets they expand it, and they expand it well, because it is a cool place.
It is a really cool place, and there's a lot more to do than just the Instagram beach town road in Tulum. That was honestly my least favorite part.
Right.
There were so many restaurants and other places to hang out, and then we did a little road trip all around the Yucatan.
Yeah.
Yucatan.
You're so American.
But I think it's a great destination for families, so I'm excited about a direct route from the States to get straight to the beach.
Right.
And I think it's definitely worth just keeping on your radar.
And it's nice because now the pricing will be competitive to Cancun and Tulum, so it might be a little cheaper. And do you remember, it's one major highway, and if there is one accident or there's traffic, remember how far it was backed up?
Right, back to the airport.
Right. And so that's another thing to consider when you're going to that area, the Yucatan. And choose your airport wisely. But I'm glad there's two. More airports, the better.
The more airports, the better. Okay, and I have another update or travel tip, as they say.
Okay.
I was just reading, because if you're like me, well, maybe you're not. Maybe you are. Let's find out.
I'm not like you.
Even though we travel all the time, and I traveled for work before we started doing this, it's just been a part of my life for a while. You'd think that I didn't get nervous. But pretty much anytime the plane hits turbulence, I just have to close my eyes, do a little calm breathing exercise. It still gets to me.
But weren't you the one that told me about that Jello
Well, yeah, there
analogy?
was something going around that did help me, that a pilot on social media, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about.
A pilot on social media said this, so it's completely legit.
Well, it worked. But she said that imagine like a little piece of paper towel and a cup of Jello in the middle, and you can hit the Jello and it's going to move the paper towel, but you cannot hit the Jello hard enough to make the paper towel just fall out of the cup. It's just going to move. It's just going to bounce a little bit. So she was explaining and relating that to turbulence. Imagine you're in Jello and, there's a little bit of turbulence. The plane may bounce a bit, but there's nothing that, planes are made to sustain
turbulence.
Yes.
Unless the engine died.
Right. But turbulence is not the reason that you're just going to all of a sudden fall out of the sky.
Or a bird attack.
Right.
So
anyway,
lots of other things can happen.
Lots of other things could happen, but it's not going to be turbulence. But for peace of mind, I was reading about this app called Flying Calmly.
Okay.
You can download it to your phone. You can put in your flight number, your flight information, and 24 hours before your flight, it's going to show you a grid, a map of where you're flying to, and it's going to kind of predict with you the turbulence that you may encounter and when, and how severe that turbulence might be. And the reason that so many of these reviews were saying that this was such a great tool is it can't make the weather change, right?
Yeah.
But you go into it feeling a little bit more in control, that you know that certain things are going to happen and when, and ultimately we're not in control. I know that. But just for somebody that has an anxious mind sometimes, I like the idea of being able to say, okay, I know that when we get around here, it's going to be bouncy. So then when it happens, I'm not caught off guard. I don't think the pilot fell asleep. We're not going to go crashing to the ground.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
It's meant for a certain kind of people. So like I said, disregard if this isn't you. But if you've ever had these thoughts in the sky, then it might be worth checking out.
Yeah. If it happens, it happens. I feel like if I had that app, I would be like, oh boy, counting down. I'll be counting down the minutes.
No,
till
I mean,
turbulence
it's the
hits.
reason why when I'm watching a TV show at times and it's so intense, sometimes without telling Colin, I'll Google and find out the ending of the show.
You're the worst.
But it's actually not the worst because...
Give me a real life example of when you did that.
When we're watching Survivor and it's not...
You find out who gets eliminated?
I find out sometimes who gets eliminated.
Why do you do that?
Well, let me explain. Because the anxious thoughts or like the intensity of the back and forth, and I know that that's how they make TV shows. It's not my favorite.
It's not worth it for you.
And I still like watching it unfold. I still, even after I find out what happens, I still like to watch it unroll. But it's just when it gets so intense like that and shows just build it up, it's more of a distraction for me than it is enjoyable. I don't like that feeling.
So you like when you're boarding, you're like, okay, it's going to be turbulent here and probably for, 5 minutes. Okay, cool.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll let you know because I've never done this before. I just read about it.
Well, our next flight is from JFK to Hong Kong, so please let us know.
I'll come back and report if it was beneficial to know that there were certain moments of, turbulence.
You better not be awake at like 5 a.m. and going, Colin, wake up. We're about to hit turbulence.
No, I won't do that. I'll probably try to sleep through it. Anyway, helpful tool. Check it out if it's something that you think would be helpful for you too.
Yeah. Speaking of things that are helpful, we're going to get into it. These are the 5 things that we cannot travel without, and we each came up with 5. I have 5, Meg has 5, and the girls collectively have 5 that we made for them. They don't know this, but we made for them. I guess all they want is snacks and iPads, which are on the list. Spoiler alert. But we'll start with me, then we'll go with you, and then you can round out what we got. I brought some props today. I hope you're excited.
I'm excited.
So let's get to it.
Bing! For those of you watching on Spotify or YouTube, that snap just made a lot of our favorite things appear right in front of us.
Whoa! I feel ready to travel right now.
Can't wait.
And you know what's so funny? Everything on my side of the table is all black. I happen to be wearing all black today, which I think is... I travel a lot wearing black because, stains and all that kind of stuff. But wow, this is an accurate depiction of me. Okay, should I start?
All right, tell us your 5 things that you can't travel without.
Here we go. Number 1 is this backpack. It's called the Wandered Backpack. And you bought this in 2021. And we've used it till now. It's currently October 31st of 2023. So we've had this for 2 months and some change.
You mean 2 years?
2 years and some change. And let me tell you, there is not a single... it's not showing any signs of aging. It is in perfect condition. It's perfectly waterproof. I like that the top is like a foldy, so you can just reach in and get all that out. But then it has a solid laptop case in there. And the only sign of wear and tear is these little thingies. What do you call these?
Just some strings.
Just some strings here at the top. But other than that, it's been such a solid backpack. When we were in the Faroe Islands and we were on a boat tour, it was cold, wet, I had all my camera stuff, and this I knew that if it was in the backpack, it would be dry.
Yeah.
And it looks cool.
And it's been through a lot. And sometimes, we'll switch it back and forth. Sometimes, depending on our flight allowance for luggage, Colin will use it for his photo gear. Sometimes if he wants to use a different bag, that's my snack bag, and my go-to bag is a mom. So we just kind of pass it back and forth. But I really think we should invest in another because it's been tried and true. We'll link it down below, but it's Wandered, WANDRD. If you want to check out their brand, I would give them 5 stars.
And we have the smallest one, actually, which has been working fine. I would love the next big one when it breaks, but when will that happen? I don't know.
Probably never. This sounds like an ad. It's not. We really just like it.
Right. Okay. Now, number 2, I listed chargers and adapters because I am the electronics guy of the family. Your bags have snacks, entertainment, surprises. I literally have cables and adapters, our laptops, our camera equipment.
All the tech stuff.
And everything needs to be charged by a different cable. Oh, Lord. And I even bring my extension. What do you call that? The thing with
an extension cord?
Yeah, but with like where you can plug several things in. How do you say it? What's this language English?
I don't know.
A surge? It's not a surge protector.
It's a thing.
A thing.
Moving on. Everyone can see it.
You know what it is, guys. I have one of those too, so I always travel with that, and it has USB ports and everything. I would pull it out for you, but it's running our podcast right now. But yeah, I always have adapters, and I'm probably going to get one of these before we travel on our trip. But this brand, Anchor, has been an anchor in our travels. I got it on Amazon. It charges really fast, and it lasts super long. So yeah, those two things are essentials. Number 3, a man purse, a sling. Is it even called a man purse? I feel like it's like...
I think it's just a sling,
bag. Right. It's like it's crossed that cultural barrier now. When I started wearing it like a year and a half ago, I still felt like everyone's looking at me when I did wear it. Now, not so much. But I have mine. Mine's all black, and this is just like a $20 one from H&M, and I love it. The reason I don't wear it every single day, but when I'm in airports, gosh, I can put all our passports in here, my phones in there, my wallets in there, and it's just easy access. So can't travel without my sling. Gosh, my list is so boring because the next one is a premium subscription to Netflix, and the emphasis is on premium because then the kids can have their own Netflix shows downloaded on both of their iPads, and I can have my shows downloaded on mine. And I just think it's nice to have backup because I can't ever rely on airplane in-flight entertainment.
Yeah, you just never know.
Yeah, what are you watching on Netflix right now?
I just finished watching Love is Blind.
I just wanted you to say that on the record. All right, moving on. The last thing. This just made it to my list. I know we talked about my camera setup last week, which was a huge Fuji X-T4 with a Rode shotgun mic on top. So that is our vlogging and photography gear setup. But DJI just released the Pocket 3, and this is going to be how we vlog in the future. Mm-hmm. And because like people have asked us before, why aren't they longer? Like, why aren't they 20 minutes? I'm like, dude, I am doing the best I can.
Well, it's a lot to parent and vlog at the same time.
Right. Mm. And most of the times I just don't want to like carry it around. And when I'm going in a restaurant or a theme park.
It's like there are certain situations where it's socially acceptable. We don't love pulling it out when it's going to put other people on camera. Yeah. We try to be respectful or just draw a lot of attention to ourselves. So right. I do think that this is going to be helpful in that area, that it's just, it won't be like this big old thing you're holding in front of your face.
Right. And we'll leave the link to this below, but this just came out and I bought the creator combo.
And it's great because it can record horizontal for long form video and also vertical for short form. That is a tongue twister.
Short form video.
So I think it's going to be a great tool. We're going to use it a lot on our next trip. So let us know if you see a difference in our content. Hopefully we'll get a lot more of those in between moments.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting and fun.
And speaking of moments, we just finished editing our last video from the Faroe Islands, and it's got lots of family moments, which I love. It's coming out this Saturday, so check out our YouTube channel for that. But this is the vertical video.
Very
Look at that. And it flips the screen and it goes back. And this is just going to be like, it's going to make us stealthy. And we're going to go into restaurants and night markets and all that kind of stuff to give you smooth, steady, family-friendly shots. That's my list.
Okay, moving on to my list. I don't know if it's going to be more fun, but it's definitely different.
Very different.
Number 1, I'm the snack queen. I pack snacks in the girls' bags, but I also pack snacks for myself. Colin is unique in that he can eat anything. You kind of...
Except for shellfish.
Well, that. But I'm just saying, you don't necessarily pack a lot of food with you. You just eat on the go. But like I've said before, I have some allergies. I have to bring food with me. These are my favorite snacks that I pack. I love bringing little beef jerkies, and I love bringing protein bars.
What's your favorite protein bar, Megan?
Well, I'm liking these Robert Irvine's Fit Crunch right now.
Have you seen his show before?
No.
He's super intense.
Really?
Yeah.
I like somebody recommended them to me. I think they taste great. And then these are little Vermont turkey beef jerky. Well, actually, it's not beef.
It's turkey. It's turkey beef jerky.
It's turkey jerky.
Turkey jerky.
Those are my favorite snacks to bring on the plane. And I also usually have a water bottle that I fill up once we get through the airport. Okay, next thing on my list. This is a first for me, but it's already an essential because I know I'm going to love it. I'm getting compression socks because we're going to be in the sky for like 15 something hours. And I just know that I usually get off and, you know, my feet just feel like it's just swollen. It's not great.
I can't relate.
I know you can't relate. It's just a thing. And so I'm going to travel. Maybe I'll circle back with a review. But from what I've been told by other people, it's going to change my life.
I can't wait to see you on this flight with your turkey jerky, Flying Colony
turkey
app.
Beef jerky.
Yeah, turkey beef jerky, your compression socks.
I'll look like a first-time flyer maybe. With all my accessories. Okay, moving on. I always bring my Kindle. I have a Kindle Paperwhite and I load it up with some books. I do like to watch shows, but I also really love reading a good book. So me and my girlfriends that are in a book club together, I've got a few more to finish before the end of the year. So I will be bringing this with me.
Book club is questionable. They talk about the book for like 10 minutes and then it's like, all right, guys. And they just chit chat for an hour and a half.
Whatever fosters community. Moving on. I'm going to bring headphones, but I was actually kind of curious what do we call them?
Bluetooth wireless headphones.
Right. That's so long. I thought for a second it might be ear pods. Do we call them ear pods?
It's called AirPods.
No, those are I know what AirPods are. I'm saying, what are they when they're not Apple?
I think
wireless headphones.
I think in 2023,
Buds,
you
earbuds?
just say headphones. I think the technology has transitioned.
It's like when we say a phone to our kids, they do not imagine a corded phone hanging on the wall.
When you say vehicle, they're not thinking horse and buggy. Yeah.
Did we ever call that a vehicle?
Oh. Transportation. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so headphones, but the wireless kind. I'm going to always bring those so I can watch Love is Blind or whatever show I feel like checking out on the plane.
And we're super cheap. Like, we haven't gone into... People are like, I use Bose and I use my
Apple.
Beats.
I mean, I would love to have... Those Apple ones are so stinking cute.
If anyone wants to just,
send me some.
They're
also like $500. So I think all of those are great. But if you're just getting your $25 wireless headphones
from TJ Maxx.
From TJ Maxx or Amazon, that's what I have, and it does the trick. I can't hear crying babies. It's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Carrying on. My last thing is kind of, I'm breaking the rule a little bit because I'm calling it my refreshment pack. So it's not just one thing, but it's a few things that fit in one category, but
Megan,
they're all
the
essential.
title of this podcast is 5 things.
No, I'm bringing my bathroom bag. And now I'm going to tell you what's inside of it.
Okay, cool. So
I always like to bring face wipes for a long flight. Sometimes I have this like hydrating face mist that I'm showing the camera that I love to bring. I love to bring the disposable toothbrushes, the ones that you can use and throw away immediately. Those are really great. And my big tip that I was debating sharing, but I think I'm going to do it anyway, is sometimes I just like to bring new like socks and maybe underwear. So that like... Well, not new, clean. So that like maybe, I don't know, 20 hours into the trip, you can kind of like change, maybe put on a new shirt, but you're definitely changing like the undies and the socks just to kind of, it's a new day. We're starting over. Yeah. I feel like that's one of my greatest tips because it just makes you feel like a new person, even if you've been living in airports for forever. Yeah. And it doesn't take up a lot of space.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you think it's a good tip?
Sure. Sounds very no one's ever done that before kind of tip.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I felt like it was kind of common. I mean,
I'm just being sarcastic.
Oh gosh.
Everyone's done it before, Megan.
Bring a new outfit.
It's just like when you have an infant.
That. I'm gonna record
No.
that.
It's not. It's done. It's on the internet.
I don't know if I want to say undies.
It's a baby. We're all grown-ups here.
Okay.
We can say undies.
Okay. All right, moving on. Let me put this stuff on the ground.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the final list for our kids. Start us off, Colin.
Okay, number 1, iPads. Now, we've got 2 of these. They've lasted us many, many years.
And we bought them refurbished. So that's a tip for parents. I just love how an iPad is a lot easier to use than
we're in the same Apple ecosystem.
Right. When we tried to do the Kindle Fires, it was like learning a whole new I couldn't do it.
Sorry, Amazon.
So these are really old iPads that we bought secondhand, and they've been through the ringer, but they've lasted us like 3 years.
Only because of this case right here. I mean, this has been the lifesaver. I mean, how many times have our kids thrown tantrums and just throw this on the ground?
Yeah, a lot.
But
it's a great thing to have on the plane because, like we've shared before, we let our kids just zone out. I mean, there's no way that you're going to endure a 9, 12, 15-hour flight and not let your kids enjoy some kind of entertainment. And the great thing about it is that you get to pre-pick what they watch because you have to download everything before you leave. So there's no worry that they're going to watch something that you don't want them to. Colin and I, or typically Colin, goes through and downloads shows that are approved for our girls or games that they can play. And then they have that as a resource to pass time on the plane.
And here's my absolute pro tip. This actually gives me more anxiety than turbulence or anything like that. As soon as I get on the plane or before I even board, while I have the airport Wi-Fi, I turn on the apps and make sure I go to the download section and at least hit play one time. Because so many times we've gotten on the plane and a lot of these apps they'll freak out. They're like, there's no internet, you can't load your shows. And that's happened many times before where I have a full iPad of stuff and it won't load.
So the tip is that before you get on the plane, just like open one of the things that you've downloaded. And if it loads,
I'll open all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, open all of them and just kind of wake up the apps a little bit.
Wake it up.
So that's what I would do.
Okay, that's a good tip. Next, we always dress the girls in comfy clothes. So the tip would be just bringing comfy clothes. Maybe they have sweatpants on, a loose t-shirt, a loose sweatshirt so that they can change. And also we typically pack them an extra pair of all the things. Undies included.
Okay. I wasn't
sure. In their
sure.
backpack, just in case there's some kind of a drink spill, we always pack an extra outfit in their carry-on. Number 3.
Yep. I was going to say the drinks will spill because you know what our 7-year-old daughter has gotten into?
Hot tea. When the lady goes by with the cart, it doesn't matter. Charlotte, I think she's learned to love the reaction that she gets when she asks for hot tea.
Yeah.
Because probably most kids are asking for juice.
Yeah.
So when she requests hot tea, she always gets a really cute reaction. So I feel like that's part of it.
But I also think she genuinely likes it. Yeah.
But
with lots of milk and lots of sugar.
But when the turbulence happens, or maybe she's just moving things around, she typically knocks it over. This
is what happens. She orders it. It's blazing hot. And she goes, gotta let it cool down. 2 hours later, I end up drinking it because she forgot about it.
Yeah. But the extra outfit can come in handy should the tea spill.
Right.
Number 3, we're usually bringing them some kind of thing to write with, a notebook, a pen, something to draw.
We actually do that pre-flight, and then sometimes we lose the notebooks. Whenever we're in a new city,
we'll buy them a new
one. We'll buy them a new notebook and pen.
To just draw in. They love to draw simple pictures.
Yeah.
Practice their letters.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, I've talked about this a lot. I'm showing the camera if you're watching. This is called a mini Yodo player.
Oh, it's a mini?
Yeah, this is a mini. They have a big one.
Okay.
You can put in your room. This one is great for traveling. So basically, you purchase these cards online. Some of them are story cards, like they'll have magical stories or Junie B. Jones. Then they'll also have music cards like Kids Bop or Sing Along, or one of them is like stories about the farm.
My favorite is the Kids Bop 90s, and the other day we were all singing Oops, I Did It Again, and it made me so happy.
It's the best. And this is great because basically these cards function as CDs did to a CD player. You stick it in and you can switch through the different tracks on the card. And it's just great. They can listen to stories, listen to songs. There's no screen involved. And so if you want them to have a break from looking at a screen, they can listen to it through this tiny speaker, not on the plane, obviously, but just in normal life. But on the plane, we pack some headphones, and each of the girls have a set of the cards and the Yoto player.
And that's really essential for flights, especially during the long taxi times, or if you're boarding first, like as a family, it's going to be a while before the pilot clears and you can start up your electronics.
Right, because some airlines are not as strict about it.
Yeah, and some are like very strict.
But most of the time, we'll have a stewardess that tells the girls to put their iPads away until we're up in the sky.
Right.
So yeah, these are really come in handy for those in-between times and just when they need a break from the screens.
And for road trips, when we're driving down, windy roads, which me and Charlotte, at least, we get super nauseous. So that is a nice alternative.
It's really the best. I couldn't recommend it more. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for your kids, I think it benefits them and you. And there's a Facebook group for Yoto player parents.
Really?
Where you can trade and buy cards secondhand. Yeah, that helps make it more
That's
affordable.
half the fun.
Half the fun.
Okay, you got one more thing on the list.
The last thing on the list is an element of surprise. So sometimes on a long flight, I'll go to the dollar store or grab a couple pieces of candy like a lollipop or a sticker book or some kind of thing that's new that they can play with on the plane that will just be, when the morale is low.
When all is loose.
When all is gone. There's not much hope
There's
left.
no hope. Yeah.
Then that's when these little surprises come out. And I don't usually spend more than a few dollars on them, but just to have them in our reservoir to pull out when needed.
Reservoir.
Yes. They can really just be a little mood lifter. Somebody's crashing and burning right before your eyes and you can surprise them with something new.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a good thing to bring on a long flight.
Yeah. Mine is like a little thing of Snickers or any kind of chocolate.
Snickers for you.
You do that for me?
I'll do that for you. I wonder what mine is. Mine is more just like, hey, you're doing so great. When we get off this plane, you can buy that thing you've been wanting. I don't know. What does that say about me? Don't bother with the small stuff.
There's no saying how much that thing costs.
Oh gosh. Anyway, that is our list. And though we kind of broke the rules and we said that it was only 5 things, we gave you 15 plus because I snuck a few extras in there.
Yeah. See, way to under-deliver and
under-promise
and over-deliver. Welcome to the Did You Pack Snacks. Don't you just want to leave a review?
Don't you just want to tell us how much you love listening?
Be like, one time I thought I was getting 5 things. No. I got 15 things for my whole family.
Okay, so next week we'll still be in the States, but then we'll be coming to you live from our trip, our month-long trip to Southeast Asia. We can't wait to bring you along. And some news to look forward to next week is Colin is taking his American citizen test in a few days.
I have to have 2nd grade level reading and writing. God, I hope I pass.
I think you're going to pass that part, but there's also like the test.
Right, my civics knowledge test.
Well, I can't wait for you to come back.
Quiz me, Megan.
Who is the first president?
George Washington. Boom. Citizenship. Hand it over.
Can't wait for you to give us an update and see you guys next week. Circle back for another episode of Digipack Snacks.
You're ruining the outro. Don't forget the pack snacks. Bye.
Bye.